right, 8:32, and perhaps you already know we're in the thick of college basketball's March Madness.
Yeah, and the women's game is more popular than ever. The WNBA draft will take place in just a couple of weeks right here in New York City. So who better than to join us this morning to talk about all of this and one of the most decorated players in the WNBA, the legendary Sheryl Swoopes. So great to have you here this morning.
It's so good to be here. Thank you for having me.
I was just saying to you earlier in the break that I feel like time stood still and that you and all your teammates are still in your 20s. You still feel like you're in your 20s?
And you laughed immediately. I don't know why.
No, I don't. I just had a birthday, too, a couple of days ago. So there are days when I wake up, I'm like, I do feel 20. But most of the time,
But isn't it great to see where women's sports have come since you launched off the WNBA?
Amazing. Just the opportunities that the women have today, the popularity of the game, the eyes, the sponsorships, the brand. Like, it's where we always hoped it would be when the league started back in 1997. And now here we are in 2025, and like it's thriving. And I tell people all the time that it's not a moment, it's a movement. And
Yes.
so many people want to be a part of it.
Remember?
Told you. That's what I see. When I see Sheryl Swoopes, that's what I see.
You know,
Still.
I look at this and I'm like, I think every single photo, I have a different hairstyle.
Yeah.
That's where we are right now, though. Texas Tech, March Madness. Like,
Yes.
Any favorites this year?
See, you put me on the spot. Listen,
We got more than one.
Here's what I'll say. So I'm a huge South Carolina Gamecocks fan. Dawn Staley was a teammate
Yeah,
of mine.
we were just talking
we
about
played
her.
together in the Olympics. I love what she's doing for the game, right? Not just for the Gamecocks, but for the game in general. But I do have to say, I'm not going to pick a favorite. I do think UConn, they have a chip on their shoulder. Paige Beckers and AZ Fudd, Sarah Strong, I think they're playing so well together right now. And Paige Beckers, with this being her last season, Paige is like, I want to go out on top. I just think they're playing very well together. And when it comes to March Madness, a few things have to happen. You have to be playing really good basketball. You got to have a little bit of luck on your side, and you got to stay away from injuries if possible. That's what March Madness is all about.
You know, speaking of injuries, Juju Watkins over at USC.
Yeah.
The team wants to go all the way, but will this loss set them back?
Here's the thing. First of all, what happened with Juju, the injury, like, I think the entire world felt that. I immediately started rubbing my knee because
ACL,
I was there, right? I tore my ACL, so I felt all of that. But it was bigger than that moment. Like, it was just for the game, the women's game, everybody felt it. Juju is women's basketball right now. And she's doing so many incredible things on the court, off the court. So here's the thing. Can they make it all the way? I say anything's possible.
Of course.
It will be a lot tougher because Juju Watkins is her.
Yeah.
Right? Juju just brings something different that no one else is doing right now. But I always say this, when a player goes down, it's an opportunity for every other player to step up. I'm not going to count them out. I'm going to say it's going to be a lot tougher. It was going to be tough anyway with Juju, but without Juju, the road to the Final Four just got a little bit tougher for USC.
And there are always those great stories. I mean, every season there always is that great story.
Yeah.
That come from behind victory. But what's always great now, too, is to see these players go from college to the WNBA. And sometimes, though, because of the way the league is, they have to travel overseas to play just to make a living, you know, because of the parity in pay, right? But this is what I love, Unrivaled, this new league. Can you talk about that and how that's helped a lot of the players be able to stay home?
So, like, it's not new. We've been doing the play here, go overseas forever.
Exactly.
And I just know when the league started in '97, that's what we did. We played in the league, we would go play in Europe. And I will say it's not always a bad thing, right? Just the experience to play in another country, learn a different culture, it's not a bad thing. But here's what I love, the popularity of the game and people finally paying attention and saying, we want a piece, we want to be a part. The vision that Stewie and Nafisa had to start Unrivaled. It made me sit back and say, why haven't we done this before? Right, when you think about it. But then I said, I know why, because people really weren't paying attention to the game back then like they are today. And the success that Unrivaled had this year, honestly, I think is going to put a little bit of pressure on the W to step it up. You have players that are making, you know, 200,000 plus in a 7-week season. And a lot of players aren't even making that in the W. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a great thing. More leagues. There's also another league, Athletes Unlimited.
Okay.
We play for, and I say we because I actually call those games. That's a 4-week season where women have an opportunity to make 100,000 plus. So you have Unrivaled, you have Athletes Unlimited.
Great.
More opportunity, more jobs, more eyes. The game is in a great place today, and I am so here for it.
And they're filling stadiums.
Right. And before you go, I want to ask you about another important cause, health equity. You were in Albany about this. More about that, please.
Yeah, you know, I am so fortunate to be an ambassador and a spokesperson for RadNet. Cancer is very near and dear to my family. Lost my mom to cancer, lost aunts to breast cancer, lost uncles to prostate cancer. And so it's important to me to be able to use my platform, use my voice to spread the word. And you mentioned being in Albany. We were in Albany trying to help get legislation passed to be able to move financial barriers when it comes to screenings, breast screenings, lungs. And I just want to spread the word and say to people how important it is for early detection, get your mammograms, and it could potentially save a life. Sometimes we get scared of going and finding out, and I just want to say, listen, it's very important. You got to do it. Take care of your health. Take care of yourself.
Yeah, and it's wonderful that you're using your platform to make sure that there's more awareness.
Thank you. It's important to me.
Yeah. Well, thanks for taking the time
You're
to visit
very
with
welcome.
us.
I appreciate you having me.
Great to see
Who's
you.
your favorite?
My favorite? Oh, man.
See?
I always tend towards South Carolina because I love Dawn Staley, obviously.
Yeah.
But Juju Watkins still is a star, but to see her in this tournament to play the way she was playing before this, I was in the moment too. So we'll see.
shall see.
We will see. Thanks again for stopping
You're
by.
welcome.
A pleasure
Thank
to have
you.
you with us. All right.